Hey all, welcome back to my channel. You know the drill. We're surrounded by books. We have a few options. Today's option is a book haul, and it actually might be my last book haul of the year. So I have books from Black Friday. I realized I didn't show those, so we're gonna include those in the haul. And then of course I went to McKAY's, and this is going to be my last McKAY's trip of the year. You know, I had to make a stop. And actually the books that I traded in, I got $45 and some change for them. And then I only paid $37 and change out of pocket. So more than half of my books were paid through my trade-in. We love to see it. So we are gonna start with the TJ Maxx books first because it's not that many. And I think I've said this before, but TJ Maxx recently has started getting a lot of books in, and some of them are new releases, and of course you don't have to pay full price. Most of them are like half off, sometimes even more than half off. So I've started to browse. They used to be in the stationery section, but then they moved them closer to the checkout aisle, which I guess that could also vary depending on your TJ Maxx. Okay, so first up we have The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. If the book looks familiar, it's because I did a recommendation book video, and this was one of the books. Cute little Christmas read. It's part of a series. Here they are. I've read the pumpkin spice one, but it's an interconnected standalone series, so you don't necessarily have to read them all in order if you don't want to, but some of the characters will cross over into other books. A small town spicy festive romance. Kira North hates Christmas, which is unfortunate since she just bought a Christmas tree farm in town that's too cute for its own good. Bennett Ellis is on vacation in Dream Harbor, trying to take a break from both his life and his constant desire to always fix things. But somehow fate finds Ben trapped by a blanket of snow at Kira's farm. And despite her grinchiest first impressions, with the glow of the fairy lights twinkling in the trees and the promise of a warming hot chocolate, maybe, just maybe, these two lost souls will have a Christmas they'll remember forever. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I already did it. So if you want to hear about this book, some of my thoughts, go watch the recommendation video, because usually I give you some opinions I have, but I've already read the book, so I know what's going to happen. And then as always, I will have the regular price and the price I got it for on the screen. This book had a total of 349 pages. The original price was $18.99 and I got it for $8.99. Okay. Next we have The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. So this is book one and another duet. She has another series out. I think this is the first book in that series. No, this is book two in that series, but they all kind of have a similar cover design. They're set in the same world. So obviously for optimal reading experience, you should read them in the order they came out. I think they are listed. And also, which I think is pretty, if you get the, I think first edition of all the books, they have the design on the hardcover itself, which I like. And I recently actually just bought book two in the first series that shows right here. I recently just bought that from TJ Maxx on sale. So I don't know if I'm actually going to read this too much because I haven't finished the first duet and I know they take place in the same world. I'm not sure how much overlapping is going to occur, so I don't want to spoil anything for myself. Yeah, I just know they're in the same world. I don't know if it takes place right after, it takes place a couple years after. We're not going to do that. So the total amount of pages this book has is 427. The original price was $29.99. I got it for $12.99. Shout out to TJ Maxx. Then I got The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. Look how pretty this book is. The edges, and on the back it says, "Hope is good, feel it, because you have no idea what's coming around the corner." And they also have in-page designs. Mind you, this is a new release I found at TJ Maxx. I also found the only copy at TJ Maxx. So of course I grabbed it, and it was a very good price. So I wasn't gonna leave there. Let's see. So she puts a little letter in here for the authors. So this is a re-release deluxe hardcover edition of The Last Letter. She wrote this 7 years ago. I'm not seeing a little summary I can read. So I just might read some of the letter. Let's see. Okay, thank you so much for picking up this deluxe hardcover edition of The Last Letter. This book means so much to me for so many reasons. It's also known as the saddest book I've ever written. So if you're still at the store, maybe grab some tissues. While my husband was serving in the military, 2 families close to us went through childhood cancer diagnosis. It struck me as being so unfair for these kids to go through the unimaginable. As I watched their parents move heaven and earth in their fight. While writing The Last Letter, I called both of these friends and asked them what I needed to get right in this book. I asked what they would say to everyone if they could. I'm forever grateful to those women for inviting me inside their family struggles and opening my eyes to a world where prognosis doesn't always equal outcome. One of my friends went above and beyond, letting me into her son's treatment logs, which became the timeline for The Last Letter. I strove to make the book as accurate as possible to do justice to these kids who fight with everything they have. I'm forever grateful for Ashton's strength and grace. She answered every question, helped me understand the countless facets of emotions she and others have gone through. She walked me through the months of treatment, the setbacks, the victories, the hardships. I spent months poring over blogs where parents detailed their children's experiences, insurance fights, treatment possibilities, and countless hours sobbing over their outcomes, both the spectacular and the tragic. All of these emotions found their way into this book. It's been 7 years since I wrote The Last Letter, and Beckett, Ella, Colt, and Maisie are still with me. I hope they stay with you too. So it's giving sad, but I'm here for it. I've never actually cried reading the book. I've had moments where it's like clutching my pearls or having to take a moment to myself, but I've never cried, so I don't know. We shall see. But it seems like there's of course a romance element, but there are some other health things going on as well. So it's probably, giving a little sad romance, but I'm here for it. I'm excited to read it. And I mean, I've heard good things about this book. So we shall see. The total page count is 393 books. The original price for this is $32.99. I got it for $16.99. Love it. And my last book from TJ Maxx is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This was also a new release, and I found it in TJ Maxx. Also, please look at the foiling on the cover. I love that. But Stephanie Garber, she has written one of my favorite series, the Caravel series. Absolutely love it. So I'm kind of always down to read anything she writes. So I'm hoping, this is up there for me. It starts with a class in an old movie theater. Folklore 517. Local legends and urban myths taught by a woman called the Professor. Most students believe the professor's stories are just fiction, but Holland St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can supposedly tell you when you'll die, the world finally makes sense. Except that the Watchman tells her she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object called the alchemical heart. With the clock ticking, Holland is pulled deeper into this magical world in the heart of Los Angeles and into the path of the magnetic stranger. Everything about him feels like a bad idea, but he promises Holland that her sister sent him to protect her. As they chase clues and stories that take them closer to the alchemical heart, Holland realizes everyone in this intoxicating new world is lying to her, even the stranger. And if she can't figure out whom to trust, not even the alchemical heart will save her. Yeah, when he said the sister sent him to protect her, that's giving a little suspect. But I'm wondering if that's actually a true fact or not. But Holland realized that he is lying to her, and so is everyone else in this world. So I'm wondering how she gets transported into this magical world. Like, was she in a real world, and then when she finds this watchman, she's then transported into a magical world? Also, I'm trying to know more about this professor. They just call the professor, which is a little weird. Like, who is the professor? How did the watchman get his powers, or are his powers even legit? Because it could actually be he's just saying that that's when you'll die, and then you freak out and you start doing other stuff. He might not even actually be able to tell you when you're gonna die. I don't know. I'm here for it. It seems like it's also gonna be a quick read. I love a good magical fantasy read. Sign me up. Yeah, so this is pretty quick. It has a total of 322 pages. The original price was $29.99. I got it for $14.99. Love it. Okay, next we are going to do my McKAY's books. I found, of course, some special editions this time around, signed books, and then books that have been on my TBR for a while. So very excited. I'm gonna start with this one because on the topic of Stephanie Garber, this is Finale. This is book 3, the final book in the Carvel series. I have read them, loved them. I've talked about them on my channel before, but if you can see, this says Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition. It has bonus content, which I am looking forward to, especially since this is the last book in the series. It also has a reversible dust jacket. Stunning. Yeah, so I loved finding this one. Again, Carvel is one of my favorite series, a fantasy series. There's also a spin-off series set in the same world with one of the characters that was introduced in Carvel. It's also one of the first fantasy series when I started reading again. That was one of the first fantasy series that I read. Because I have already read it, I know what's going to happen, and this is also book 3 in the series. I won't talk about it, but you can find me talking about these books on my channel. The page count for this is 494 pages. The original price was $19.99 and I got it for $12. Next, we have The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. Pretty. This was a book that I had been eyeing on a special edition book site, but every time I went to get it, it was sold out. I found it today. And I'm so excited to have it because I've been wanting this book for a very long time. So we have foiling on the hardcover, the end page designs, and reversible dust jacket. So of course, if you can't tell, it's dealing with witches, it's dealing with magic, and that's right up my alley. Always love it. And this is also a standalone. Well-behaved witches seldom make history. In 1911, New York City, 17-year-old Frances Hallowell spends her days as a seamstress, mourning the mysterious death of her brother months prior. Everything changes when she's attacked and a man ends up dead at her feet, her scissors in his neck, and she can't explain how they got there. Before she can be condemned as a murderess, 2 cape-wearing nurses arrive to inform her that she is deathly ill and is ordered to report to Haxhaven Sanitarium. But Frances finds Haxhaven isn't a sanitarium at all. It's a school for witches. Within Haxhaven's glittering walls, she discovers the sisterhood she carves. But the headmistress warns Frances that magic is dangerous. Frances has no interest in the small, safe magic of her school and is instead enchanted by Finn, a boy with magic who appears in her dreams and tells her he can teach her all she's been craving to learn, lessons that may bring her closer to discovering what truly happened to her brother. But Frances's newfound power attracts the attention of an ancient order's dangerous leader who yearns for magical control of Manhattan, and who will stop at nothing to have Frances by his side. Frances must ultimately choose what matters more: justice for her murdered brother and her growing feelings for Finn, or safety for her city and fellow witches. What price would she pay for power? And what if the truth is more terrible than she ever imagined? So there's a lot going on. I'm wondering if this is actually gonna be wrapped up in one book or if there's another book. Let me see if they say something on the back. I mean, it doesn't lead to say this is going to be a series. So I think it is a standalone. It has a total of 442 pages. Also, I want to read the back. Haxhaven Academy rules for young witches. 1, mind your instructors. 2, no unsupervised spellwork. 3, don't leave after dark. Why can't we leave after dark? I'm also assuming the reason that her scissors end up in the man's neck is because of magic. But I'm wondering who in her family had magic, because obviously she doesn't know that she's a witch. So somewhere down the line, someone had to have had magic and she just wasn't aware. The original price for this book, where is it? Oh, it seems to be nowhere on here. So I will find the original price for this book, but I got it for $11. Next, we have To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. So excited I found this one. This is book 1 in the series. I've shown book 2 in the series on a book haul from McKAY's a while ago, but I didn't talk about it because I didn't have the first book. Also, I was trying to find the first book with sprayed edges, which they had been sold out everywhere. I was so lucky to find one in McKAY's, so now I can actually start the series. Okay. Jude Maddox knows nothing of love or even light. He knows only his grim duty as the hand of death, to lead the knights of the eternal star into a land filled with nightmares and certain demise. It's only when he sees her, a young woman with wild amber eyes who's as fierce, defiant, and swift as the shadow beasts themselves, that he feels the warmth of life in his blood. The other knights may fear their lethal commander with his hard, merciless demeanor. Outcast Kiera Frey sees only a leader, a man who knows how to survive, someone like her. But wanting him is treacherous as the shadows themselves, and just as seductive. With the kingdom on the verge of collapse, the knights must now venture into the darkest heart of the land and uncover the secrets of the misted shadows, where evil will prey upon their minds and feast on their flesh. It will betray their senses, it will surpass their nightmares, most of them will die. But they have no other choice, because the only way to fight the darkness is to become it. Love that. Also on the back, it says, in a world of darkness, become the nightmare. So it obviously needs to be a little scary to be in this world. And I also think it's only 2 books in this series. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's only supposed to be 2 books. And this is a romantasy. It also says it's a fast-paced romantasy. But yeah, it's giving a little bit of forbidden, because Kiera wants to be with the commander, but it seems like that's not really supposed to be happening. But then Jude is dreaming of Kiara, obviously, but he doesn't know that yet. So I'm wondering why he's dreaming of her, like what type of connection they have, because just out of the blue, he starts to have dreams of her. And that makes him feel warmth in his blood. But that also makes me question, why are you feeling warmth in your blood? Are you like undead? Or does she just make her blood feel tingly? Like what's that about? I'm here for it. I love a good romantic scene. And she's saying fast paced, so that means it's probably engaging. And it seems like there's a lot going on in this world that we need to uncover. So yes, sign me up. This has a total of 432 pages. The original price being $19.99. I got it for $10.50. This is my last hardcover, Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. I don't know if I said that right. This has been on my list for a very long time. And it actually has a note from the author. Then it's signed by the author. And it has a reversible dust jacket. I love it. And of course the sprayed edges. So this 9 times out of 10 came in a box edition because it has the card in it. Yeah, so it says this came in an Owl Crate book box. Ceres is safe in the kingdom of Laurie, or Aluria. We're gonna go with Aluria. Here there are no droughts, diseases, or famine, and the peace is everlasting. It has been this way for hundreds of years, since the first king made a bargain with the lady who ruled the forest that borders the kingdom. But as Aluria prospered, the woods grew dark, cursed, and forbidden. Ceres knows this all too well. When she was young, she barely escaped as the woods killed her friends and her mother. Now she carries a small bit of the curse, the magic, in her blood, a reminder of the day she lost everything. As a new queen is crowned, however, things long hidden in the woods descend on the kingdom itself. Ceres is forced on the run, her only companion, a small and irritating fox from the royal garden, and the magic in her veins. It's up to her to find the legendary Lady of the Wilds and beg for a way to save her home. But the road is darker and more dangerous than she knows. And as secrets from the past are uncovered amid the teeth and roots of the forest, it's going to take everything she has to survive. So I'm wondering how she got the magic. Obviously, she was in the woods, lost her mom, lost her friends, but did something happen for her to gain magic, or did she already have magic when this happened? You know, I'm trying to figure that out, figure this magic out, and how many people in this kingdom actually have magic, because it's giving they actually might not have many people with magic. But also I'm wondering, obviously the legendary Lady of the Wilds, she must have some type of powers. She's pretty big. I also want to know if the royal family has magic. Where is this coming into play? And is the type of magic that Ceres has, is it a dark magic, or is it a good magic that could actually save her kingdom? Yeah. Interesting. I also don't know if this is a standalone or not. Oh yes, it is. The book says the end at the end. It has a total of 338 pages. Because this is an Owl Crate book, I will have to look up the original price, but I got it for $8.75. Next, we have A Touch of Chaos by Scarlett St. Clair. I'm so excited to have this one because I've been collecting, I don't think, they might be behind these or somewhere else. I moved them. But this is a Hades and Persephone's retelling inspired series, and slowly I have been collecting the books from McKAY's, and I found this one today, which is one of the books that I have been needing. So here is the list right here. So there's also, if you can see, some of them say a touch of something, and then some of them are a game. They're all set in the same universe, but I think it's like different perspectives. So I've been trying to collect both of the series. And I don't have a touch of malice yet. I haven't read it yet. I've read 2 books in this series. There's 4. Let me double check. A touch of darkness, touch of ruin. Yes. So this is book 4, the last book in the series. So I won't be reading it yet because I have not read book 3 in this series. But I could not pass it up. For the condition that it's in and also the price. You know, sometimes you have to grab them when you first see them or you don't see them again. This book has a total of, hold on, because these pages don't have numbers. So you get a bonus epilogue in this book. Again, this is supposed to be the conclusion. So you get a bonus epilogue in here. It has a total of 575 pages. The original price was $18.99 and I got it for $11. Speaking of Scarlett, St. Clair, A Game of Gods. So I mentioned I've been collecting this series as well. So there's 3 books in this series. This is book 2. I collected book 3, or maybe this is book 3 and I collected book 2. No, this is the 3rd book in the A Game Hades saga, and I found the 2nd book at McKay's as well. But these books have recently been republished with new covers. These are the new cover styles. So I am still in the process of trying to find the 1st book with a new cover. They had it at McKay's, but they didn't have it in the new cover, and I want it to match. So I will not be reading the back of any of this because this is book 2. I have not read book 1. I'm not going to spoil anything for myself, but as you can see, it's also pretty thick. This has a total of 580 pages. The original price $17.99 and I got it for $10.50. I love a good Hades and Persephone retelling, and this series that I've been reading by Scarlett St. Clair, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm just collecting all the books so I can finish the series. Then my last book is Heated Rivals by Katee Robert. This is book 2 in the O'Malley series. I actually found book 1 at McKay's a while ago, read it, loved it. It's a very quick read. This is an interconnected standalone series. So of course you get the best experience if you read them in order, but you can also read them separately because they all focus on a different couple. Just previous couples will be mentioned in the book. Okay. And this is book 1, this is book 2, and book 4. I can't remember how many books are in the series. Kerrigan O'Malley knows she must marry to secure power and prestige, not passion. But after one taste of the hard-bodied whiskey voice, James Halloran, she wants no other man, even though James and his ruthless family are enemy number 1. And her father will never allow their union. Hallorans versus O'Malley's. That's how it's always been. Yet instead of strategizing how to expand his empire and dominate rivals, James is plotting when he can next get Kerrigan into his bed and his family. Those are dangerous thoughts indeed, but not nearly as dangerous as he'll be if he can't get what he wants. Kerrigan by his side, no matter what the cost. So it's low-key giving a little bit of Romeo and Juliet because the families are feuding. They're not supposed to be with each other, but it seems as though Kerrigan and James want to be with each other. Usually I find in these type of universes, when it's a crime family or something, they usually already know what the people in the other family look like. So I'm wondering how they met and how they hit it off. If, you know, their families are supposed to be rivals, how did they end up on terms where they wanted to be with each other and defy their families? I'm just trying to figure out. But I really enjoyed the 1st book, so I'm looking forward to this one. Based off of reading the first book. They are quick, fast-paced, easy reads to get into and to enjoy. Also, I really enjoy the author, so I have high hopes. This book has a total of 304 pages, so not too much. Original price being $16.99, and I got it for $14. That is the last book in my book haul. Very excited with all of these books. Some of these books I have already read. And some of these I need to start reading like ASAP because I've been waiting to obtain them. So all in all, great trip to McKAY's. It always is. And great finds in TJ Maxx as well. Check your TJ Maxx. They've recently been, you know, picking up with the new releases, good books, and for a great price. So I will see y'all in the next video, whatever that's going to be. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.